I'm Cindy Brown, and let's queer up the USA view. New Trump budget expands FBI counterterrorism scope to include gender extremism. A new federal budget proposal from Donald Trump is drawing concern from civil liberties advocates and LGBTQ groups across the United States. The fiscal year 2027 plan includes a $166 million increase in counterterrorism funding for the FBI, alongside language targeting what the administration calls domestic terrorism, including gender-related extremism. The proposal claims that anti-Americanism, anti-capitalism, and anti-Christianity are emerging threats. It also includes individuals who practice extremism on migration, race, and gender, or oppose traditional American views of family, religion, and morality. Under the plan, these categories would become a priority for FBI counterterrorism efforts. According to the Washington Blade, the budget also proposes a new federal hub, the NSPM-7 Joint Mission Center, aimed at addressing political violence in America with a stated focus on leftist ideology. Civil liberties groups warn the proposal could blur the line between dissent and national security threats. The ACLU has raised concerns about potential political targeting. The proposal now heads to Congress, where lawmakers will negotiate final spending levels ahead of the October 1st federal budget deadline. You know, it makes me so angry that they're spending $166 million. I know compared to the entire federal budget, that's not a lot, but $166 million is a lot of money. Sure, yeah. And to spend it specifically targeting law-abiding citizens who may share a different point of view is completely antithetical of what the United States of America was created about. And this is not a Christian nation. As a matter of fact, it was set up specifically to have that separation. And anti-Americanism, because you don't agree with some ludicrous proposals or things that a crazy guy in the White House says, I mean, this is just ridiculous.
Well, the stench of the Heritage Foundation hangs heavily in the air in this story. Does. And the Heritage Foundation, by the way, deserves also to be categorized as a domestic terrorist organization.
Absolutely. I wouldn't be surprised if their headquarters is nicknamed Gilead.
It's touche. I had to take a sip of water, not only because my allergies are off the charts, but just because this is so, as the kids say, triggering. I really had to think about this, that this is basically creating an umbrella to cause a chill for joining organizations. I'm so sure. I must be thinking like a lawyer tonight, maybe because I did a training the other day, even though I'm not a lawyer, never went to law school, but I'm kind of thinking like a lawyer in a certain way. And I think this is going to definitely be tested under the First Amendment, because we have a right
to dissent.
Well, not only a right to dissent, we have freedom of speech. And I say this every time I'm at the round table: freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of assembly, and freedom of the press. But that freedom of assembly is going to really come into play here, because if you're part of an organization, let's say an LGBTQ plus organization, they could label you as a domestic terrorist because you are promoting an ideology that goes against whatever they believe Christian values to be.
There you go. So traditional American views on morality, and I underline morality.
Who's morality?
Exactly.
Who's morality?
You get it.
Yep.
And it's very McCarthy era blacklist, and it's
well, we're already in that era where they're asking you to turn in your neighbors who might not be documented.
Right. Well, and I don't talk to my neighbors, so I won't be doing that. Just because they're a little weird, but I don't care if they're documented or not. So
but I mean, in terms of the McCarthyism, that's what they did. They wanted you to turn in your friends and neighbors.
Absolutely.
Well,
the times we're living in are really unprecedented. Well, not unprecedented, actually.
They are unprecedented.
We've seen it before.
And we've survived it. The question is,
they're lessons that we failed to learn.
Yeah,
right. Absolutely. Well, we're that special needs kid in school that just has to learn it over and over again until we do. So hopefully we do.
Yeah, but we're seeds. So if you bury us, we're going to grow right back up.
I love that too. Yeah. All right.
There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by sharing them and subscribing to Queer News Tonight.